Guys, welcome, happy Friday, and good evening to some more running on rFactor 2 with the lovely BMW. Guys, I was procrastinating so hard this evening already, trying to drive this car. Jokes aside, I have been working literally all day long, and now it is time to finally do laps here in Brazil, as tomorrow is the 6 hours of Interlagos race already. And of course, as per usual, a little bit of warm-up first. I can't even say whether there is more grip compared to yesterday, or rather not. All I'm seeing is leaderboards as 31 zeros. And this is nothing that we're going to conquer right now, because it is time for a little bit of long runs. And I hope you guys had a nice week. Hope you have a little bit of fun with us tonight. Oh boy. This traffic is mental already. Good evening, Nicholas, Marcus, and MD275. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are doing good. I keep failing and driving the car correctly. It's insane. So let's see, I'm aiming for mid-32s at the minute. Hey Marvin, how you doing? Your back hurts. Time for retirement. Retirement from Simracing? That would be harsh. So I see also everyone is on hards in the GT3. Retirement real life. What is your age? What is your job? Hey, Liminal Thoughts. How are you doing, buddy? Ah, you're 23. All a bit early about retirement, I assume. What the heck's up with either of my braking points? Not saving enough fuel, I think. This is lap number 3. Yeah, I need to save more fuel. As we have a hypercar turning around in the hairpin. Is amazing. It's biblical stuff that we see out here. Look at me. Not missing turn 1. Crazy. This is one of the situations where I'd be like, maybe you have to wait for a pass, right? But that's obviously just me. Your average rFactor 2 driver. Like, people are dying everywhere. It's like you have the race in 2 weeks' time, not tomorrow. But oh well. It is what it is, right? Of course, Nicholas, it's exactly like that. There used to be that kinda OP'd version. I'm not sure if they have been further adjusted. Like, what the fuck is up with the brakes? Feels like the real road seems to be much more saturated. But the grip is like completely not available. At least on the brakes. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. Obviously, I'm not allowed to overdrift, overslide the car, as we need to keep these tires alive. And that car coming up the hill, like with no performance at all. Ah, I see, everyone's having the issue, not just me. So, it is also the first ever time driving this car for a long run here. Hey Tanner, I'm alright. Ready for some struggle here, how about you? We'll need to put the cut click up in the TC itself as well, because the key element of this BMW's tires is the rear tires. It's insane how much you overheat them when accelerating out of the turns with a little bit of a slip angle. You don't want to see these blue LEDs come up at all, but of course they will come up. So, as in for the lap times, 32.7, 32.3, 32.3, that's going to be a 32.4. How about you, Tanner? How are you doing, buddy? Come on. Killing the rear. Come on, you hypercar, move. Like, I can't let you go any harder. No torque. No power. No grip. No tire cooling. Has anyone actually had a look at the weather forecast for Interlagos? That might be the only hope for us. Rain. Never driven the BMW on ACC, I think. So I can't even say. This is so bad. It's incredible. Like, maybe I have a couple of wrong settings. You see these blue LEDs coming on every now and then, even if we're just kind of coasting still means that the TC is active. And across those bumps, the car is obviously jumping around. It's getting a bit tricky, to be honest. Like, the initial turning of the car is extremely snappy. No rain forecast for tomorrow. That's obviously awesome. To a certain extent, at least. I'll need to do more reconciliation with the setup. Can't help it. So, reconciliation means we need a couple of hot faps. Maybe one or two hot faps. We know yesterday we could do 30.9 the full send. Let's see what we can do today with a full send. The fun part about full send is going to be having a clean lap, which means no traffic. But that is obviously something utopic anyway, with 50 people on the grid. Altaman, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. Hey, Matteo. Yeah, so much about having a clean lap, right? That's fine, Altaman. Yeah, I feel like driving an SUV indeed. This absolute pain. $31.4. Okay, let's just pretend we can do a 0.3 flat at this stage. Changes in ALBs, please. Let's see how that feels. Probably just as awful. That's fine, Ultimon. That's good. That's fine. Much appreciating it anyway. Again, I'm not even sure if this is going to be a thing. Because obviously I'm not planning to do much iRacing. I only would go for a couple of paints and pay a couple of 500 euros for paints if iRacing was my next full-time thing. Occasionally I might get a car that I just enjoy having. But let's say this is not planned. Exactly, it's just the determination of pricing indeed. Juan Ramirez, thank you so much for your subscription on the YouTube channel. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Appreciate your time. Throw away a 10th here? Almost, I guess. I swear to God, next time I'll just rear-end them. I've absolutely no sense of humor anymore. Like, if those torpedoes think it's fine to just cut straight across ahead of me, no worries. I'll lose the downforce, I'll lose the brakes and just rear-end you. I'm okay, Ultiman. I'm just getting frustrated with driving standards in a way. It's just like, I don't know what it is so hard to understand about that you shall just not pull in front of another car. I'm losing the downforce, I'm losing the drag of my car. My braking zone will eventually come 5 to 10 meters longer. Exactly, the usual stuff to a certain extent indeed. The shift protection of this car, well, I'm not sure if the GT3s generally tend to be more broken than. What do you mean, Raytraquan? Quite don't get the message. Mia Sathori. Club Simracing, hey buddy. Yep, Retro, VC's tomorrow. So I'm quite late with the practice anyway. Yeah, Retro, you can spot for clips. They sure gonna come. You can probably do a MH10 GT3 Rage special with me. Mourning about the car, mourning about the traffic, mourning about the driving standards, and so much more. I don't know why people always keep proving my point. I mean, I appreciate it so much, but I would love for them to be focusing on their job and what they are expected to do, instead of proving my points. I am torn between saying the way this car is now driving is the best in general, balance-wise. I just fear that in the long run we might miss the rotation. I At the end of the day, it might also be a good stability, though, that we have. Riccardo Corasari, good evening. And good luck for tomorrow. Hope you are prepared. Let me rephrase that. Hope you are prepared better than me. Yes, you made a teaser indeed, Raytruck1. I saw that. And I was questioning a little bit. I can't even remember what was about to happen on that clip. At that point. And yeah, I'm still sliding the rear massively. We also have a teaser. From me again? No. Shenzei, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. Oh, good content left of me. That might just mean that I'm in trouble. Publicly being called out. You know what? May just as well look to make it to a different server. Why slow down, Jesper? I'm not even Quack. Is that really the only WEC server? That would just be so shit. Hope the other ones are available as well. Because, you know, I just want to practice. But you want to practice in the day, not in the night, because we're not going to make it to the night anyway. Oh, well, yes, but that was fourth stint. Fourth lap in a stint or so. Don't think really I'm much faster. Yeah. Jimmy has indeed cut some. Can't help it. I need a practice for traffic anyway. It's going to be a 6-hour race. Okay, we're trying to go for a stint. Yes, 6 hours, guys. Yes, but can you guys do the full hour? Obviously asking for a friend, as you can imagine. Yeah, retro. As a taxi cab driver, I can imagine. "16 hours of driving non-stop, that is... Like, I drove non-stop from here to Italy to Lago di Garda, which is 8.5 hours. That is as much as I can handle it, really. Let's try again, going into a stint. Hey Matt's on track, how are you? I think tomorrow is going to be a very horrendous day. I will probably be quite bad in mood with the result we have in prospect. But I'm doing fine. I'm doing alright. A bit frustrated with car and performance, with traffic and other drivers. Apart from that, I'm doing alright. What do you mean, Retro? You cannot throw six hours every time? Yeah, you mean no coffee but tea? I'll probably need to drink something very different to stay cool. The only thing that I can do from here on now, apart from riding the traffic, is driving offline. I'm not sure if I should just do it. Probably the best way to evaluate setup and driving anyway. You know what, I'll just do it. So, excuse me again for the inconvenience, but I can't stand driving in the night when there is no night at all. So, we save the railroad, we leave the server. Then we're configuring the online, the offline session. Here we go. Hey Robin. How are you doing? As much as I would love to do more traffic testing, it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't make sense, right? So yeah, POV, you put a dry track into, or a dry condition in ice. It's just 1 hour now anyway. Shitty. Bitchy. Humidity. Like, guys, rain chance 1%. Potentially cloudy. And it rains. Like, of course it has to. Mon Dieu. What the hell? Practice time. 3 hours. How hard can it be? Exactly. Imagine 1% of winning in lottery, but you never win. Alright, here we go again. Robin, what do you mean next to stop Circuit of the Americas and Bahrain? Oh, I don't even know. What might be next track? Is it Silverstone even? No. Guys, what is round 3 of the Virtual Endurance Championship? Could be the 4 hours of Bahrain indeed. Yeah, many of you love to have Interlagos and Le Mans Ultimate. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the track in the first place. I know for everyone it's like kind of a myth of a track. Personally, I can't even understand why, but so be it. It's probably just a weird Michi thing. And I will drive it regardless, obviously. I just hope that it is going to be a great version, but, you know, laser scanned Studio 397 stuff. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forwards to it, and we need to support Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2 for sure. Yeah. Hopefully without sleeping like they did in Bahrain last year. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm very much looking forward to Qatar. The only thing I'm not looking forward there is track limit. That's going to be a huge pain. But everything else, I'm looking forward to indeed. What do you mean Interlagos? Interlagos better than Qatar? No. I'm really looking forward to Qatar big time. Again, like, I'm itchy, I'm weird. I can live with that. Hey Aurelian. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. So we're finally able to do a couple of good laps here with the Beamer. I can't wait to enjoy tires into the stint. It will probably be a horrendous experience, but we're going to find out together, so we're going to find out tomorrow, hopefully. I may as well put the anti-lock brake system up, because you don't want to have that at all. Isn't it only F124 that has Qatar as a racetrack? Might as well MotoGP or so, but I have no idea on MotoGP, obviously. Are you guys looking forward to tomorrow's 6-hour race? I hope you do. It's likely going to be not the best race for us. Remember, the BMW lazy out of the low speed turns, good and high speed turns. It's a bad combo for Interlagos for sure. Track not really BMW friendly. Like, we had a very BMW friendly track with Spa as an opener, so on the one hand, we shouldn't mourn too much, but, you know, we're sim racers. We keep mourning about everything we can. That's part of our DNA, right? So everyone, what is your thoughts about the MSG shenanigans that we've heard on yesterday? What do you think about this? What is your take? Yeah, the BMW M4 is indeed good for the Nordschleife because a lot of medium to high speed corners in general. There it really points with its huge amount of downforce that it produces. Hey Martin. Yeah, it's alright, it's good. How about you, buddy? Yeah, and if you guys appreciate what we're doing here, then please have a follow on Twitch, subscribers on the YouTube channel. If you haven't done already, tune in tomorrow at noon. Stream is obviously already scheduled for qualifying on the 6 hours of Interlagos here. Really looking forward to see you guys on the stream. Man, even with the slightest of dray braking, the ABS immediately kicking in. I would say Le Mans Ultimate is the big king, to be honest. Can't wait for the GT3s there. And I already got flat spots in this BMW. There's one benefit though when it comes to driving single player. I can pause that game and check on my filters. I can turn them up. Then the rattling wouldn't be as hard, you know. A big problem for that BMW also is the efficiency. Like, if nothing happens to the guys, then for sure Porsche's gonna win that race. Porsche acceleration out of the low speed turns is insanely good. And it's the only car that is easily able to do the full hour. So they have a huge advantage here. Oh boy, you're in a full front wheel driven car. Rotate a lot of the throttle, because those cars understeer on acceleration like mad vehicles. Probably nothing that I need to tell you. Hey Pete, haven't you heard of the another wave of laid off people from MSG? It's a shame to see, but it literally describes the entire sim racing world in a nutshell. Apparently it shall not impact Le Mans Ultimate, because as far as I understand from the articles, they've laid off graphic designers, media people, and like general management stuff. So that means all the devs and the guys working on physics still in place, still in the company. Which should have not the biggest of impact into Le Mans Ultimate general development. But of course you can't never be sure. Might as well be the one or other dev that had to go. And that in fact could then impact the development of the game. However, you know, guys at Motorsport Games are fully passionate about the sim, especially Studio 397 is extremely passionate about it, so I'm 100% convinced as long as the company just floats around, they'll do their utmost to get Le Mans Ultimate into a finished and better state. However, and I can already hear the first shitstorm coming, I would assume that they are prioritizing getting new DLCs out before adding features. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see all cars, all tracks before we get private servers, before we get customers and so on, or it's the other way around. It's the subscription model first that we see. so that there is actually some money coming in. But then the user numbers are way too little, the amount of people that are like hanging on the fence waiting for the game to be finished is way too huge. Of course, you can't force anyone to buy the game, but if someone is really passionate about WEC and wants to get hands on the game, you shouldn't wait any longer and just get it. Retrocore, like, I don't know if the ACO is ready to take that over. If I would be ACO and have no idea in the business, I would probably just like revoke the license and give it to someone that has the funds and the people that could do something with it. Not Codemasters, because Codemasters and EA have proven for multiple years now that they have the biggest budget, the biggest amount of people, but develop the the biggest pile up of non-goods written code and gaming material. Like, the number one dream case would be either, I'm not even sure if it would be smart to fund MSG. I don't think it would be smart, but I would probably rate having the biggest chance, someone passionate coming and going to MSG saying, listen, I'm not gonna buy MSG, but I'm gonna buy Studio 397 and its asset. We get an asset deal, MSG can pay open liabilities, and then MSG gets liquidized or liquided, however it's called in English. Like, MSG dies, and Studio 397 is under a new organization that's been freshly put in some money and some small organization around it. Because, you know, let's face it, like, at the end of the day, MSG is a rather big concern as well. They have to operate so many general management occupancies because they are listed on the stock market. So they have to do quarterly reports, they have to get a couple of checks being done, they have audits and all that stuff. And that, you know, needs to be all done by some people that have to be in the company, but that don't actually adding value to the game. In fact, they're only adding costs on the P&L. Yeah, Martin, but I mean, you can get this version of Interlagos for rFactor 2 from the Razer Studio Pack. It is a workshop indeed. Exactly, Retrocon. So, Martin, as much as I understand your concern about the player count being too low for a subscription model to work, you have only two alternatives. Bring out a subscription model and survive 1 or 2 months longer, or don't bring it out for the sake of the customer happiness and die earlier. What will you do as a company? And I think here is also a little bit of the customer's responsibility. Like, it is us, the community, that also needs to actively decide, okay, do we want a Le Mans Ultimate? And do we want Studio 397 and or MSG to be able to finish the project? Or are we like high-class, careless people being like, yes, we want Le Mans Ultimate, but first, when it is finished, when you have tested it thoroughly, and if it takes a year, it takes a year. Now, if we go on option 2, we can be sure that the company is dead and we will never ever get a full Le Mans Ultimate. And then there's also rFactor 2 that is still hanging in the throats, you know? Like, personally, what I would do if I was MSG, I wouldn't have called off rFactor 2 to be end of development, but I mean, this is so easy for me to say as an being a customer having dreams on both of the sims. But you know what I mean? To an extent, I hope. But for everything, obviously you need to have the money. And the only one probably actually making some money in the sim racing world right now is iRacing. That game once again getting completely hyped after ACC people have called their own game dead. Now everyone going to ACC instead of Le Mans Ultimate. That is a big impact also. If only 2 of the 10 ACC diehard streamers would have said, let's go to Le Mans Ultimate, that would have boosted the sales up and made the project for MSG much more easier. The only problem right now is for investors. Who would actually put money into MSG, like, let's face it. Exactly. What they've done now with laying so many people off, they just tried to buy themselves some more time. Because they are trying to cut their costs, but remain a core of the group active to actively work on the game. And I think that is their only chance of survival. And that includes also bringing out, hopefully, a subscription model that, and even if it's just 5 euros per month, you know, if you earn 5 euros per month from 1,000 people, that secures you to at least employ, I don't know, 1 dev. Probably it's not even enough, but it still increases your chances of survival, right? So I completely get it. But don't get me wrong, I feel for all of the employees that have been laid off. Whether they have just been general management or marketing or design or some back office worker. I feel for all of them losing their job from one of the other day. That is completely... that it just sucks, you know? And I hope that all of these guys will find a new job fairly soon and can be cool with it after some while. Yeah, exactly, Martin. That is... Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to criticize you, because I completely understand your point of view, and I would probably also understand everyone that is holding on the fence because of VR or any other thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely understand your point of views, but this is where I say here that the customer is also a little bit responsible, as in, yeah, okay, I cannot enjoy the game yet as I want to enjoy it, as, I mean, there is ways to get VR working in Le Mans Ultimate, right? It's just not optimized for it. But if I could at least enjoy that, and therefore buy the game and be like, okay, studio, here is another 35 euros for you to work with, that would improve the chance for the studio to survive, maybe scale up the entries and, I don't know, get another loan or even find an investor that sees the project and the assets of the company being feasible to invest in. But right now it's just going down, you know, no investor is interested as the sales are not going up, as there is probably just no land in sight, to be honest. And that might be the big breaking point right now. It obviously all correlates to each other. If we had more customers, more playing Le Mans Ultimate, we would not speak about laying off people, but maybe hiring people to either increase the quality or improve the speed of development, which is breathtaking already anyway. Then we could also speak about investors being like, hey, there is a soaring market coming up for this. I'm gonna invest here. But one thing leads to another, but like we would need a kickstart on something, right? Or we would need to have the kickstart of the game actually being finished. That would probably bring the people from the fence that are waiting for the full release then. But there's only so much you can do with a limited budget, right? And obviously, as much as the people on Studio 397 are passionate about it, they won't make this for free. They need to earn their bread and butter from something. Here's the other thing. I gotta be completely bold on this now. I could even imagine a scenario. So, disclaimer. This is just a scenario in my head. What I would hope is happening in case of. So before I reply to all your messages, well, let me first reply to all your messages, and then I'm gonna draw my horrendous scenario here, which I hope will never happen that way, but if it happens that way, it would at least be a little bit of hope. Yeah, Ryan, I also think the game is worth it. At the same time, though, I understand everyone that is holding on the fence if you are a fan of racing it in VR. Yeah, I completely get that. You would wish more people would play rFactor 2. It would be the only sim to play now. But I'm stuck with iRacing for the amount of players there. Yeah. But you know, if everyone is just going over to iRacing, there is simply no chance we get RF2 or LMU out there. And yeah, I mean, I'm probably the only streamer that really would commit to Le Mans Ultimate. You've seen so many guys from ACC now, like players coming over to Le Mans Ultimate, some going to iRacing straight. But all the big streamers say like, yeah, we're gonna go iRacing, it's going to be the big future. Like, I don't get it. iRacing is the same as it was 4 years ago, so why are you doing it now, calling it the big future? This is more ridiculous actually, as the ACC guys. Like, I have no idea what they've done, whether that is Jardier, whether that is Dan McCormack or Marbix TV. They have all called ACC being bad now, like it has been great, but it's bad now, it is done, it is dead, it is no platform to be in the future, but AC Evo is going to be the next big thing. So you have to explain me one thing. You're driving esport. You're all about racing and racing physics and racing immersion and the reality of sim racing. And then you call off a racing sim being dead for the next game of that same studio going to be a driving sim, which may cover racing in a bit, but not has the racing as such in full scope. That is like, you know, that is like a car mechanic shop worker saying complete automotive is dead, like e-scooter is the future. We can't fix e-scooters, but that's going to be the future. Like, how can you actually say that? I don't think GT3, I might be wrong, GT3 might change a lot for Le Mans Ultimate. I expect there is much more Le Mans Ultimate people out there wanting die-hard GT3 simulation rather than GTE, LMP or Hypercar, and I get that. Let's see what happens. I think if I understood it right, we can expect the first wave of GT3s with the next update. Let's see how it goes. However, anyway, here comes my scenario of that I hope it will never happen. But I hope that if some of that happens, which might be inevitably, we never know, that this goes on. So, here's the thing. Realistically, and many people have said this, and if you're looking into the financial reports of MSG, it is not a too unrealistic assumption that we're gonna see motorsport games being bankrupt and having to close business. That is a possibility of which I hope that is never ever going to happen, because I want Le Mans Ultimate to be a successor. I want rFactor 2 to eventually be turned over into some rFactor 3 using Le Mans Ultimate technology, and even gets that beyond. But it is probably more likely that we see MSG die and close before both other things have happened. So what I would love to see then is, obviously all these devs need to have a new job and need to have a new passion and need to earn their money for living. But I would still hope, and I think this is where the actual strength of Studio 397 is coming through. Everyone at Studio 397 breathes Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2 as technology, as simulation, as physics engine, as game, as a passion. So I would love so much if that group sticks together, finish that game in their free time, maybe not within a year, but maybe 2 years, and once it's actually done, publish it, earn a little bit of money with it aside, and just create that situation. That the big problem is that this group is unable to maintain licenses and licensee property rights and so on. And I think this is the big problem about our sim racing business. It's missing a zero everywhere. It's missing a zero in overall market reach, it's missing a zero in player numbers, it's missing a zero in viewer numbers on the internet, it misses a zero from external investment, and it probably misses 2 zeros on return on investment and actually capitalizing within the market. That is the big issue of sim racing to me right now. What do you mean, and fixing the MFD double inputs for longer races? Yeah, Rachel Con, I hear you about the big investor, but who, like, if you would have $1 million, let's say you have 1 million euros to spare, and that's probably not even enough, you would need to have 10 million to spare. Would you just like, it's like, okay, take my money and burn it? Oh, okay. That's what's up with the MFD. Yeah, to me, sadly, it is a small tragedy that iRacing has this market share. Don't get me wrong, because I might end up on iRacing myself at some day. But iRacing as a sim, to me, is painful, no fun to drive, worst netcode ever. Like, the list is fundamentally long, and I'm not speaking about details. Like, physics and netcode are to me 2 completely elementary things when it comes to having a good sim racing game. IR model on top of that, I would count that to physics though. But these things on iRacing to me are just horrendous. I know there's many people being like, iRacing is the best, blah 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 and whatnot. I don't think so. I think the only way iRacing is huge is because has so many fanboys, and its player base is like completely biased to it. You could probably tell you, if you go out and be like, hey, iRacing is so bad because it took 3 years of development, then you got the iRacing fanboys coming around saying, but screw it, it is the best strain ever and it's justified to have it 3 years. It is so insane. And to me that is like one of the biggest lies ever. It is the same biggest lie as some of the even good rFactor 2 or like Simracing people believe they could make Simracing their living. There's a couple of guys out there, a couple of good guys that I know that really think that, and I've stopped trying to convince from something different or something smarter. But maybe I'm just not thinking big enough here. Maybe just being too much Mitchy guy, you know? Financial controller, realistic, numbers driven, data driven. Maybe too little driven about dreams. So that might just be me. Jason, I don't know. Like, it should take you one lap around Le Mans Ultimate to wake up from your iRacing trauma. And I'm not saying Le Mans Ultimate is the only realistic thing. There might be realistic things on iRacing, such as maybe the brake application or whatnot. Germans being German is what I can do the best, MD, absolutely. I think this is not even German being German, this is just... to me that's just logical, I'm sorry. Martin, yes, if we want to do a full hour we have to. I'm just checking whether it is possible. Also, I'm on the medium tire with 2% wear in the back, so it can probably do a full stint, but it needs to be heavily underdriven. I have set ARB 10 in order to have the rear not sliding around, because otherwise probably the rear wear would be at 2.5, and I'm not sure how much pace that is taken away. I'm gonna do a few laps with the hards because I was on the server with 24 or 23 GT3s and all of them had hards. So I expect medium is a big no-no. So, Jason, what you're saying is I should do... I've driven iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate cars, and here's what I think video. Martin server is in the night though, so enjoy that. I went offline because I can't be asked to run in the night. Lap times I'm doing is 32 high, 33 flat. But apparently any other car can do mid 32s all stint long. I'm not sure how fast we could do if we were not saving for the full hour, but then you know the full hour would mean losing 50 seconds in the end anyway. And I think we would not win that much time. Yes, Jason. If MSG goes under and no investor can be found that takes over the assets in Studio 397, there might be a chance that Le Mans Ultimate just never makes it to full release. And it's, I would say, about us sim racers to either force or prevent that. The more we want Le Mans Ultimate to succeed, the more we should hope DLC comes out in time, subscription service comes out in time, despite this means more maintenance for the game as well, but it also brings hopefully some flow of money in. Yeah, the problem is, probably I should take care about my FB settings on iRacing first. Maybe I'm missing out on something there, so I would need some iRacing fanboys to support me with that project. Spandauer, are you one of Marbik's fans? Like, have you watched him regularly over the past? Pete Simracer, that's great support there for Le Mans Ultimate for sure. Yeah, I mean, of course, as much as we all don't want the ship to go under. Let me do one comparison though. The moment you would hear a brand like Coca-Cola or McDonald's, Burger King, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, or what other brand, Starbucks, whatever it is. The moment you would hear it goes under the bus, it goes insolvency, it will close business, would you stop carrying your money to that shop and get your favorite coffee, get your favorite burger, get your favorite drink? Would you do that? And now apply that to ACC. Not ACC, to Le Mans Ultimate or to the sim racing world. Despite a company would be struggling with the game, if you love the game, you're just gonna buy the stuff regardless, right? Because it's not like... Don't get me wrong, I don't think Le Mans Ultimate would die straight away. I think it would be easy if the company keeps existing, fires all sort of people, but just hosts a service with a €5 subscription fee per month. That would probably be a sustainable way to run Le Mans Ultimate. I'm not gonna lie. That is interesting what you say, Spandauer. Because would you say that Marbix is suffering from his decision going towards iRacing as a streamer in a total at the minute? Dory, hello and welcome. Greetings, how you doing? I'm not using enough fuel apparently. Why is Gumball also going to iRacing? Because Noah Ada and Marbix are going? I might actually think this could be a team decision rather than them only as a stream. Like, you know, a Team Nitro thing. True Drive, Nuri, you mean for rFactor 2 or as a software now I use a SimUcube 1 software. You see guys, it's interesting that we're talking about this because in all fairness with you, I have a huge headache and I've just almost decided, or I'm kind of planning to maybe doing a community survey again with the Google Forms on my Discord, on my YouTube channel, maybe relate here in the chat for 2 weeks. Because I would be interested to see what else content or what else driving sim besides rF2 or the more ultimate you would consider watching with me. And don't get me wrong, there is not at all the intention to go over to iRacing. Like, on a personal note, I do not want that at all. Because I'm not a big fan of iRacing. I hate the way it drives, I hate the way it feels. I'm okay about the sound, but it's just what you have to do in order to make it drivable or to be quick. It's just nothing for me. Nuri, all the rF2 and LMU since you updated. Oof. No, I haven't had the issue. I'm not using True Drive either. Nice, Martin. I can make you enjoy Le Mans Ultimate a bit more in VR then, I hope. Or was that ACC? And there is one thing we shouldn't forget, guys. As much as everyone thinks rF2 is kinda dead or whatever, you can play rFactor 2, you can do tournaments on rFactor 2, you can bring in content as a mod developer into rF2 without needing a studio to promote it and so on, you know? Okay. I'm gonna cheat here a little bit now. Obviously I'm still on a stint. But we still have 8 laps to go in that stint. But you guys are typing in so many messages that I have to read out. So Spandauer. You think that Marbix will lose viewers? The real reason is that he hasn't had any real success in ACC. The others are getting better too. He also made some mistakes in the selection of his cars, which I absolutely don't understand. So you think Marbix is moving out of desperation, yeah? Pete Simracing, it was strange to see Yanni on iRacing tonight, and he was the only GTP at Zolder. Yeah, I don't know. I think he called his stream Survival Stream or something like that. I'm not too sure if that is good. Okay, iRacing too cartoonish, I get that. I don't know, how did the stream go of Yanni on iRacing? Is it still going? Jason Murphy, you have to drive under the limit, not going over once. Yeah, no combined inputs, very fingertips on the steering wheel. It's not how real cars drive. Real racing is fun because driving on the limit is fun. iRacing removes that. I would agree. Like, whenever I feel like iRacing is like, I need to drive like this, you know? In order to be quick and like 4% dray braking, fine, 5% dray braking, you lose 2/10. Like, to me, that is that window where things are working is just way too tight. Okay, Nuri. We'll check The one true Saurovsky. I recently just started playing ACC and have been playing a bit of single player on Le Mans Ultimate. How come people are saying ACC is dead? Well, they keep saying I think it's at the end of their development and stuff. Awesome to hear, Martin, that you can do some races on LMU. More reality, you hope you stick with LMU and RF2. There's a million iRacing streamers as Spandau. I say iRacing just doesn't look good on streams. Visually, it's flat and dull. I would agree with that. ACC and LMU is what you use. iRacing, too much money for everything. That is a huge point, Tanner. Yeah, who does it, Bo? What do you think will be the next rFactor 2? A game that is moddable and includes other type of racing disciplines? Haven't heard of anything and assume RF2 will need to be replaced someday. Wow, that is an interesting question. Tanner, why you think Evo is going to challenge iRacing? I don't think it will, because it's just another driving sim. I think for all of you that have seen the video of Mr. Hood showing what's coming to Le Mans Ultimate, and I have some video on that coming up your way as well, you see the handwriting of iRacing in every single feature there. And it's just going to be a bit better, or a bit like a bit more dynamic. All right, I've caught up with all your messages. Yeah, let's see. But it's interesting that you mentioned LFM. Like, I agree with you, LFM is going to be important for the success of ACC. And I haven't understood Kronos yet, why they were like, you know what, LFM, we just leave ACC to you. We include your entire system within our in-game to make it easier and accessible for all the customers. And that way they would made ACC kind of bulletproof, right? But no, ACC runs their own competition servers that are rather dead, and LFM has to find its own way around it. Maybe not the smartest business decision of Kronos in that regard, but here comes the thing that I really hardly understand, and I might still use it, and I might still be a part of it in the future, but can someone name me a reason why low fuel motorsports is now going to iRacing, conquering on the thing that is pinnacle for iRacing anyway? I have no idea. And Unreal Engine is a real cancer, is a real pain for Simracing physics and Simracing games. We've seen that in ACC, looking a bit grainy and dodgy every now and then. We've seen it in Rennsport not working well at all, and I'm not even sure where Unreal Engine has been used as well, apart from Project Cars 2 and 3. More reality, if low fuel motorsport would come into Le Mans Ultimate, that would be a game changer for Le Mans Ultimate. But again, you would need the ability to host private servers so that low fuel motorsport can pull out their business plan, right? Yeah, exactly. Low fuel motorsport makes no sense from a business point of view. I don't get why. It would be like, it's hard to say. It's hard to find a comparison to it, like from real life. It is just so odd. Yeah, I literally agree with everything that was said there about physics on Le Mans Ultimate. I think Le Mans Ultimate is close to being the pinnacle of modern sim racing at the minute. And as you've said this a couple of times already, like iRacing is built in 2005, 6. Graphically, physically, the tire model is bad. Like I could go on. And that said, you you might think I'm a complete two-faced twat, because it might still happen that I end up on iRacing as well. And that would be the case if MSG goes down, RF2 and Le Mans Ultimate to be done and dusted. Not relevant at all. ACC being nothing to worry about. If iRacing is the only thing available, that might be as well where I end up. And this might also perhaps mean I may end up being an absolute irrelevant streamer too. Like, I don't call myself too irrelevant right now with my random 1,000 views on a video. Might be still a big number for me, but in the overall thing, or in the overall theme and scheme of things, 1,000 views might not be too much really, realistically. However, I think if I would go to iRacing, or if everyone had to go to iRacing, kept on their streaming, with all things that you've said right now, I would probably lose every of you. I would maybe gain some iRacing fanboys, but not really sure if that is our desire, right? Jason Murphy, but I think even Le Mans Ultimate is planning to bring their own website to operate their competition system outside of the game to an extent. I'm not sure how race control is going to look like after all. Gunners, I'm doing alright, thank you for joining. So I think my rears are completely washed. To come back on the actual driving, need to do a couple of laps, good lap times now. Yeah, Pete Simracing, exactly. I could go to become a European trucker driver, but that's not me, you know. I will also get AC Evo, but you will hardly see me on that sim because I'm not interested in a driving experience, I'm interested in a racing experience. Exactly what someone said about iRacing. You cannot drive iRacing on the edge. The only car you could have raced a little bit on the edge in iRacing was the Mercedes F1 car. The absolute crazy machine with a lot of downforce. And even that you had to drive it in a really odd, underdrivey, weird way to be actually quick with it. And that feels so pain in every other car. Like, to me, I could drive a GT3 car on iRacing like you would have to drive the Porsche Cup car on rFactor 2. Yet alone to think about how you would need to drive the Porsche Cup car. To be honest, they've been running out for money since 2 years already, I think. That is true about iRacing won it early, and then there's something else if you keep watching Sky F1 and they keep talking about how Max Verstappen is sometimes doing racing on a game that's called iRacing, that the only game name that has been ever mentioned by Sky is iRacing and F1 24. For those guys, no other game exists. I mean, it's not important when talking about real life F1 anyway to talk about sim racing games and stuff, but just the fact what Max Verstappen and many other real life drivers are doing on iRacing and for iRacing kills everything else of other sim racing games, right? And then obviously NASCAR kept American racing and American sim iRacing afloat as well. I mean, you guys know me for being an rFactor 2 Le Mans Ultimate driver since day one in both categories. And it's safe to say that I'm working my ass off, not only delivering content to you guys, but also trying to convince people at Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2 to A-class sim racing games that would deserve much more attention, right? That is what I also consider a little bit being my job as a streamer, to not only use the products that you guys love seeing me, watching me drive, it's also about marketing those products. It's a, you know, it's a give and get. The more you promote and market your own game that you're successful on, the more successful company that produces the game will be, and the more benefits it's going to have for both sides. Sadly, iRacing has more in every aspect. It has more users, more income, more expensive content, more streamers, more partners, more media partners. Yeah. Case closed. Exactly, Pete Simracing, what you say is very interesting. It, like, if iRacing would buy Studio 397 and let them finish it, it would include, like, it would have the best technologies in-house to make it absolute, I don't know, iRacing Ultimate 2 or whatever. And that could be probably an absolute game changer for everything. Yeah, that is just wishful thinking, right? Nothing that is too realistic. So, box, and then we check the hard tire. I should boot up iRacing after this and drive the BMW GT3 and compare it. That would mean I need to update iRacing in the first place. The next thing to me, which is a huge fraud on iRacing, whenever your subscription runs out, you cannot use the content that you've paid €1,000 for, or whatever. I think I've paid $1,400 of content. But the moment I decide to stop throwing money at iRacing, I'm not allowed to use that anymore. Whereas rFactor 1, you bought the game, you bought the cars, you bought DLC, you can still play it, you know? Oh. Stretching the car to 38 laps is the only way we can just about do 1 hour of race driving. Is success from the forums also out of reach if you don't own an iRacing subscription? That is even more fraud. That is... I mean, you guys need to still bear in mind that I will at some point do iRacing regardless of what we conclude here. And maybe consider it being research and development for my own ideas and stuff, but bro, it is bad. But yeah, like, I have to think business POV at the same time, and I would like you guys to check this out for a moment. Consider me being like a company as well. Like, I have a company for this streaming stuff to, you know, declare taxes and like declare costs and so on. So if I do the financial controlling myself, I have to also question me. As much as I do love Le Mans Ultimate, do I have a bigger reach possibility on Le Mans Ultimate or on iRacing at this stage? I would still say Le Mans Ultimate is fine, that is what we're based on, that's what we're having fun. Le Mans Ultimate is still in development, we can just keep going here, right? At the same time though, I have to consider, what if Le Mans Ultimate starts struggling as a business, as a streaming business, as a person that wants to give you good racing, wants to give you some fun clips, wants to give you some entertainment. iRacing has still an insanely good potential, which is probably also the reason why Marbix and Co have now decided to go there. I'm not sure if they are 100% satisfied with the driving, but as you guys said, we will see in the near future whether that spark get lit up, or rather not. So have to bear in mind, like, from a business POV, iRacing would be a logical idea, a logical option. William, thank you for joining. I'm doing good, and yes, I am racing offline. However, guys, if you want to make a stick to Le Mans Ultimate, then please have a subscription on our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch if you haven't done already, give the video a like, and help us grow the overall Le Mans Ultimate community altogether. That said, we're gonna race the Le Mans Ultimate Alpine around Le Mans on Sunday evening, so you guys can enjoy that. Damn, this is... like, this should be league race practice for tomorrow, but this turns way too much into a Q&A. You never loaded iRacing in the way again. What? Driving on iRacing is a different story anyway. That iRacing isn't driving simulator but racing simulator. RF2 beats it every day because of superior physics, but iRacing has the multiplayer. Copy. I can agree with everything. Hey Alistair, how you doing? Hey Marcus. I think the FFB in iRacing is very bad. I've never really able to dial it in correctly. Yeah. LFM was the best thing that happened to RF2 but got shut down. Yeah, it's a big shame. I would love them to bring it back, but I also get their point of view if this is not operating in. Alistair, I know that you're very iRacing based. Pete Simracer, this is exactly it. I need to diversify for the business and drive as much sim racing games as possible. Soref, hello. Do I have any tips for driving the hypercar on the more ultimate drive? The GTE is fine, but you struggle with the hypercars. Yes. Don't push the hypercars to the limit in the beginning if you don't feel comfortable. Alistair, I'm doing alright. Thank you so much. Spandau, I hear you. What I would be missing on low fuel LMU effectively is the F1 thrill. I cannot describe how much I love the Formula Pro car on RF2. It is a beast of a machine, and it is like this car. You need to be driving it on the absolute edge of a razor blade to be quick with in rFactor 2. But if you have done a full Grand Prix distance with that Formula Pro car, 305 kilometers on driving on the razor's blade, and have a good result, that is the most satisfying feeling ever after a sim race. I think the big problem with iRacing at this stage is that it's graphically so outdated, and it still pulls a lot of resources of my machine. Congrats, Alistair. Hope you'll have a good season then. I mean, it's quite funny. I'm gonna be pretty honest, and Alistair might be a good and a rare example as well. But whenever I talk about iRacing here on this stream, I hardly find any iRacing fanboys at all on the stream. And I know that Alistair is very much iRacing based. However, Alistair also done rFactor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate, and I know that he knows that RF2 and Le Mans Ultimate can offer something that iRacing can't offer. However, iRacing offers the multiplayer, of course. Hey Jenkish. Car's shit. Car's slow. But car needs to be driven, right? So I'm on the fuel target. Let's see how much I'm on the tire target though. With that hard. Much better than with the medium. Headless, absolutely. I'm the rFactor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate guy. Phase of the Sims, how people sometimes describe me even. So sure, I'm not the #1 video to go to for iRacing fanboys. But, yeah, it is what it is. Nicholas Alfaro, thank you so much for your follow on the Twitch channel. Appreciate it. Welcome to the rFactor 2 stream. Yep, the racing competition on iRacing is obviously superior. So we just need to work out that Le Mans Ultimate becomes as popular as, let's say, ACC. That's already enough. if it gets to the popularity level of ACC, it's a valid sim and it can start growing. I mean, that is the limitation of a WEC based game, right? You have to keep changing on the tracks all the time. But I think it's limiting indeed. And I think that is what bugs me the most as well. Yeah, I think everyone bitches rFactor 2 because everyone in the public opinion attaches issues and bugs and game failures and whatnot with it. I think that is the big issue. rF2 is tagged with failure and is tagged with bugs and issues. Prishy Lushak, I've successfully butchered your name, I hope you don't mind, but thank you so much for following us here on the stream. Le Mans Ultimate has, I think, 600 to 700 concurrent players in the peak. I would need to check the Steam database for the statistics. Yeah, Spandauer, but again, Le Mans Ultimate currently doesn't offer the architecture for that, which is a shame. Is Yanni still live with his iRacing, or how did that go in the end? Alistair I would need, yeah, because I think there might be a project around where I need to drive on iRacing. Despite we've spoken about that, we guys don't want that, right? 2-hour Yanni stream is over. So he just finished? Yeah guys, I don't know, maybe it might be more than 700, but I have 700 in my head. Call it up. steamdb.info I think, and check LFM, Le Mans Ultimate, and its player numbers, its charts, then you can see. About 30 minutes ago, copy. Saurov, and how many are playing Le Mans Ultimate? And this tire is durable that hard, to be honest. 810. So Le Mans Ultimate outbeats rFactor 2, which is no surprise. And then out of those 630 people, probably 80 people from Veteran Dunes Championship are on rF2 right now. So that needs to be taken into consideration as well when reading the numbers. Still shows that Le Mans Ultimate has potential. Sorry Spandauer, I've overseen your message. Like, you guys have obviously shown me your this consent, I want to say, if I would be moving to iRacing. However, would you still be a subscriber? Would you still be a follower of this channel if we did 2 Le Mans Ultimate streams, 2 iRacing streams in a week? If we split that up? I mean, obviously some of you would only tune in for the Le Mans Ultimate fun. I get that. But would you still do it, or would you be like, nah, the moment I touch iRacing, you guys are gone? Don't get me wrong, I would understand if that's the case. Yeah, Alistair, you're an iRacing fanboy, you don't count. Tanner would leave me though. Tanner would be mad with me. Kidding. The Matty Online, what would you describe as... There is not many do what I do. Is it like just me being in the niche of a niche with the more ultimate content, or is it a certain style that I do compared to many other? I think Race Room got another boost as they have improved their graphics. Race Room could be one of the companies that could make a move on MSG and buy Le Mans Ultimate. Okay guys, like, it's interesting insight. There is a 50-50 split, I'd say, between you guys. So, as a matter of fact, the truth is, I don't plan to go to iRacing, but occasionally I might turn on there, because maybe projects, maybe a collaboration with a streamer or so. Don't want to say could kind of force me, but you know, like, there might be occasions where I end up on iRacing for whatever reason. I really want to stress out though, but I don't plan to leave RF2 and Le Mans Ultimate behind. 100% not. I know that with that decision I'd probably kill half of my community. Alistair, basically just one-offs, you know. I might pick a certain series that I perhaps want to run a couple of times. Or there might be, if a streamer would invite me to do a community race with him because of a collaboration or whatever, that might get me on iRacing, as you can imagine. But I'm not planning to move over there, like Marbix just said. Like, Marbix obviously kinda announced his end on LFM, on ACC, and that he's now going to be an iRacing fanboy. Well, not fanboy, but that he's now going to be streaming on iRacing. Yes, Alistair, special events, I would love to do the 24 hours of Spa and the GT3, last to first challenge, kinda. That is what I would be really down for on iRacing, or I don't know. Probably not the 24 hours of Le Mans, but generally speaking, special events. So not a regular iRacing stream, of course. Alex, I think you might be right from a business POV, if I would plan to business-wise stream, then iRacing has the biggest potential market share for sure. But then I would need to be standing out over the other creators, over Matt Malone, over, I don't know, also a couple of German streamers. And I don't think that I could really sell you a value added apart maybe from a camera perspective. But then so many people have put their cameras on top of their heads and like put their actual physical steering wheel into the stream and then hide the rest of it. So that my view right now is nothing too special, right? Oh boy. That's obviously went perfectly well. Me saying I'm not going to go to iRacing and then an iRacing team be like, we could have you in the team for special events. I said probably too much. Raw, the reality, absolutely, that's what we all hope for. So is it just me or are my lap times on the heart just purely faster? Might probably certainly not be slower. Yeah, but you know, my value added would probably be like I would drive iRacing like an rFactor 2 guy and get desperate with it. Probably that would be the selling point, right? Yanis, what do you want to add me for in Steam? You want to invite me for games? Then no, please don't, because I don't have the time for them. You know, if MSG dies out because of bankruptcy, I think insolvency solvers, whatever they're called, like that type of lawyers, they would be out for finding a company that is ready to do an asset deal, just like what happened to Fanatec and I think Corsair. So what happened there, if I completely got it right, Corsair offered a so-called asset deal where they are paying a certain amount of money for the assets of a company, but they are not buying the debts. So all they are paying out is like what is actually making the company valuable. And from that point of view, I could see someone being like, you know what, I pay a couple of million euros to MSG to get Studio 397, to get the rights about Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2, to get the licenses, to take all of that over, but you leave the debts with MSG. And that way the investment might probably just be enough for MSG to say, okay, here go the assets, we take the money, with the money we pay all the debts, and then we go out of business. But that would require MSG to put the success of Le Mans Ultimate and rFactor 2 over their own existence, of course. What do you mean, Pete Simracing? What did Yanni do? Oof. I don't think that Marcel Offermans will take over on it again. I think that is a simple rule. Like, I know Marcel Offerman's pretty good. We're both friends and we talk regularly to each other. Knowing Marcel, he has taken a lot of salt and a lot of grain with the entire the entirety of Studio 397 being taken over from Luminist and being pushed over to MSG. Now him being, well, made redundant, how people are calling it. Yeah. I don't think we see Marcel back in charge for Studio 397. Although I agree with you, it would make probably total sense from the people that work there and his understanding for the company and the technology. Alistair, trust me, you won't be hated in my community because if I go full-time iRacing, my community doesn't exist anymore. So you cannot be hated by something that doesn't exist, right? No, Jankish, don't worry. We've just been theoretically thinking out loud about a couple of things. Nothing to be afraid of. So, fuel for 20, yeah, okay, got enough fuel still. I agree with that. I just think that Marcel has been too often been in a position where someone else was taking the decisions for him, while he made to be the one displaying, making the decision. Pete, Yannick was worried for the VC race tomorrow, or for the iRacing race that he just did. Oh, for VC. Yeah, I saw Jesper in the chat early on here saying I should stop being so quick, but I don't feel like being that quick, really. Oh, we say thank you for a raid with a party of 4. Adrian Blasco, how you doing, buddy? Been on RF2 or on Le Mans Ultimate? Appreciate the raid, buddy. Task, thank you for the follow on Twitch. And if you guys appreciate what we're doing, if you want to tune in tomorrow for the Motor Endurance Championship 6 hours of Interlagos, then please have a follow on Twitch. Subscribe us here on the YouTube channel to not miss out on streams. Hope to see you tomorrow for sure. Espla Honda is back in business. How you doing, buddy? How is your week, man? I think I'm braking too early for this turn 8, but can't fix it. That's Honda, I'm fine. Thank you so much. Just trying to do some good amount of laps for tomorrow. Can you believe it? Almost 56 laps in. The good news is we haven't got a single spin in. Or a single big brain fart, which means we're pretty acclimatized with the track already. The sad story is I think most of the GT3 cars are able to do mid-32s. We're running high 32s, so... Guys, it's going to be a shit race tomorrow. A top 10 result would probably be a miracle. And I completely mean it. Like, actually. But of course that would mean a hard fight, lots of action in the race, lots of drama perhaps. So certainly something that you guys should want to tune into, I guess. So don't miss out on qualifying tomorrow at 12 and the green flag at 1 PM Central European time. Yeah, to me Interlagos is nothing too special either. It's going up and down, left and right. Senna is a little bit of a pain to drive. And every corner has a stupid banking. Like an actual roller coaster apparently. I wish that Qatar appears before Interlagos on Le Mans Ultimate. Circuit of the America, I think it is the best Circuit of the Americas that has ever been built by anyone. And I got to say, it is hyper technically. As a driver, it is a perfect racetrack for you to develop in hypercars. It is about precision. It is about car development. It is about mastering the S's, being in the rhythm, being absolutely on point, and leaning as much as possible on the aerodynamic performance of hypercars. And at the same time, the low speed sections, you have to be on point as well, with the traction, with the rotation, with driving the hypercars to the limits of the mechanical grip. Circuit of the Americas is just such a great track. The only pain is, and that is like a challenge and a pain in itself, the fact that we have so many blind apexes. It's incredible. See you Tanner, see you tomorrow. Hope you have a good one. So I can't wait what Martin Mergeli is saying towards the car. And the stuff that we need to do. I'm just afraid, I know he wants to not race the hard tyre tomorrow, but I think there is no way around that. I'm not even sure if triple screens would be helping, because it would still be up until here that you can't see the apexes, so the pillar of the cockpit being in your way is still an issue, you know. So whom of you are gonna see tomorrow for the Virtual Endurance Championship run then? Ah, shitty. Couldn't get the rotation in. Missed the apex. Then the lap was ruined. No plans with iRacing really, Alistair. Some odd races here or there. Testing ditch in the waters. Actually checking how much iRacing my community can stand. If anything. Honestly, I have no plans for iRacing right now. Again, it might just happen that due to a cooperation with someone like with Ponju for the 24 hours of Daytona that we did, that we may end up on iRacing a bit. Okay guys, I think we're about to be done here though. I'll just have the race tomorrow. I think I got a very good idea of what is going to be the plan for tomorrow. I just need to convince Martin Mögeli about it. I'm afraid it's going to be still a little bit of a task. But once that's done, I can go to sleep, have a little bit of a nap, and be back tomorrow afternoon in full force. Sure, Alistair, maybe we might do one, let's see. But so far again, no interest in it. Okay, so it is halfway of the stint done. Copy, Pete. Have a good one. Alright guys, once again the call. If you appreciate what we're doing here, if you want to check out for tomorrow in the race, please have a follow on Twitch, subscribe us on the YouTube channel if you haven't done already. As we're coming here to the end of that racing stream. As we have probably covered enough of data. Not even sure if I'm gonna evaluate it just from the feeling, and also like the hard tire doesn't feel too bad, too far off from the medium in terms of feeling, at least for me. However, I think it seems to be the faster car, and we can have a quick check about that in a moment. Alistair, I think we've hit that back in April, but thank you so much for the kudos. Much appreciated, buddy. Alright, this is the final lap, then we're gonna maybe quickly check on the lap times done with the hard. might neglect the fact that I potentially have a little bit more driving or racing experience now around the track compared to 1 hour ago. Again, I think we caught a couple of streams in the meanwhile where you may have not paid attention to the number, which is fine, you know. So is that 0.5 even? 0.5 in with 13 laps to go, so I would need to compare up to lap 26, 25. Let us check. So 32.8, 33.0, 33.0, 32.8, 33.0, 32.8, 33.1, 32.9, 33.1, 32.8. Then lap 30 was at 32.6. Lots of 32 zeros. Let's see in the second stint then. 32.9, 32.7, 32.8, 32.8, 32.7, 32.9, 33.0, 32.7, 32.8, 32.6, 32.8, 32.5. That is more consistent in the 32s for sure. In that occasion, I got 2 laps in the 33 zeros compared to before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Especially in the end, and I think here in the end you do 33.0, 33.0, 33.4, 32.8, 32.8. I think here the hard tire could still be good enough to produce good lap times. Anyway, guys, we're gonna call it a stream. We're gonna call it a day. I think I have found race setup. And I hope that Martin can agree with it, running the hards. I think mediums is just too... It's just fading too much. It's just overheating too much. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. We're gonna have a raid on Twitch. Thanks also, guys, for the huge discussion that we had. It was very refreshing to hear your thoughts on a lot of things. What do you think about doing a survey about what we've just discussed, just to get the overall big scheme of things? Right, guys, we're gonna have a raid. So, anyone on anything else than iRacing? Hell no. Who are we gonna raid? Some Gamer Muscle. Let's go. Guys, give him a follow. He's on ACC. Enjoy his stream. And see you tomorrow for the 6 hours of Interlagos. Bye bye.